Breaking news here on KGW as dangerous winds fuel multiple out-of-control wildfires in Southern California. Tonight, homes are burning to the ground as some LA residents abandon their vehicles to safely make it out of harm's way. Also tonight, another warning from health officials in Southwest Washington.
These numbers are bothersome. It is not a benign illness.
The local jump in patients with serious cases of the flu. And Portland School Board makes what some feel is an unpopular decision to crack down on cell phones.
I can get detention, suspension, expulsion, whatever it stays on the student handbook, but I'm not putting my phone in that book.
We begin tonight with those breaking developments in Southern California, where two large wildfires are spreading fast. Homes have burned, more are on fire, and tens of thousands of people are under evacuation orders. Let's take a live look first at the newest fire. This one sparked around 6:30 tonight in the Altadena area that is just north of Pasadena. Gusty and dangerous Santa Ana winds quickly pushed it to expand to at least 400 acres, including into residential areas. Video from our affiliate in LA tonight shows care workers at a nursing home in the Pasadena area frantically trying to get residents in wheelchairs evacuated amidst very strong winds and heavy smoke. All this on top of the brush fire burning about a half hour west in the Pacific Palisades. You can hardly see it here because of the smoke. This is on the coast between Malibu and Santa Monica. A live look now estimated to be near 3,000 acres, 30,000 people there in the evacuation zone. That includes the home of Vice President Kamala Harris, though she is currently in Washington, D.C. California's governor declaring a state of emergency for what some are calling the biggest wind-driven fire event that they have seen in their lifetime. Evacuations throughout the day have been tough with so many people trying to escape at once. Roads turning into parking lots, with firefighters bringing in bulldozers to clear empty vehicles so their rigs could get through.
People are panicking and it's a parking lot. So there's about an hour wait at the bottom of Palisades Drive.
I rushed over here to pack my belongings and I got the evacuation orders.
We are in bumper to bumper traffic right now as hundreds of people try to get out. You can see flames here on both sides of the road with very little visibility.
And it keeps getting worse. That was a reporter with our affiliate stuck in the evacuation zone, showing just how close the flames were to the road. LA Fire putting out a call tonight to all available off-duty staff to come in, with school now canceled as well tomorrow in Malibu, Pasadena, Glendale, and beyond. Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino is with us now. Matt, I know a lot of folks, including myself, have friends or family in or very close to those evacuation zones. We should also note, just in the last few minutes here, LA fire officials said a new brush fire had sparked, this one threatening homes in the San Fernando Valley near Sylmar. Let's talk about those Santa Ana winds. What are we seeing? What can crews expect overnight?
Yeah, this is tough to see, David, as you mentioned, very heavily populated areas, and a lot of people have friends and relatives and family down that way. This is earlier in the day. Look at this smoke plume. This is just from the Palisades fire getting blown way out to sea to the north of Catalina Island. So when you get a plume that's that visible from the weather satellites in space, you know that fire is pumping out a lot of heat and burning up a lot of vegetation. Here are the winds around SoCal right now, and it's a little bit spotty. Notice the winds at LAX out of the north at 8, not a big deal, but Camarillo north at 21, Edwards Air Force Base, that cooler out in the desert, 29, 30 miles an hour. And some of the gusts in the mountains and the canyons around Los Angeles will be blowing upwards of 80, maybe even 100 miles an hour. Here's the forecast overnight tonight. Oxnard 44, LA 31, Mission Viejo 43 mile an hour gusts. This will be the peak time, I think, early tomorrow morning. Watch how the colors dissipate and the wind values go way down as we go to the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. So really the crux will be really the next 12 hours into the morning hours. We got fire weather warnings, wind advisories, and in fact, even in the San Francisco area, wind advisories, and up to Sierra Nevada. So this is really a statewide problem, these strong winds throughout California. David?
Yeah, as someone who grew up in Southern California, the pictures are hard to watch. The numbers are hard to fathom. Thank you, Matt. New at 11, the leaders of Oregon's biggest school district voted tonight that cell phones for students in all grades of Portland Public, with few exceptions, should be turned off and away for the entire school day. Ellen McCarty has the decision and reaction.
After months of discussion and hundreds of comments from teachers, families, and students, Portland Public Schools board members finally voted on a district-wide cell phone policy.
Do I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 7029?
Off and away for the entire school day will be the name of the game for PPS students K through 12.
All in favor, please indicate by saying yes.
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 All opposed, please indicate by saying no.
No.
The board voted 5-2 to approve this policy, which they stressed can be changed.
But if it's not working, we'll just change it. So let's not get too caught up in what we're doing tonight and more think about what's going to be the most effective thing and watch that as we go forward.
But several in support pointed out they're confident in the policy's success when it comes to student achievement.
I want to give it a try because I think it will increase outcome and social engagement. And I, as a responsible adult, I feel compelled to vote yes for this because I think it will help.
Some of the members, like Julia Brim-Edwards, brought up some lingering concerns with withholding devices from high schoolers during lunchtime and between class.
As a parent of 3, I do think there's lots of legitimate reasons during the school day to check in on work, on childcare, on coordinating with others.
The district still hasn't determined how they will keep phones out of students' hands, but they'll have to consider the costs. Some current students said they would find a way around the system, especially if the district lands on using locked pouches.
I will tell you right now, in front of you all, if you were to enact this by next week or after spring break and you got me a yonder pouch, I'm going to put a fake phone into it.
I understand that there will be a new phone policy no matter what, but I believe that choosing a policy that restricts phones rather than teaching students how to navigate the world we live in with phones could end up being more harmful than helpful.
As for when this will be implemented, leaders tell me it won't take effect until fall 2025. In North Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Interesting and honest reaction from some students there. The school board also voting tonight on a couple of other big issues. Number one, they unanimously approved a resolution to protect undocumented students. It says the district will not provide information to or access to buildings to federal immigration authorities. The board also voted, number 2, to send a bond measure to voters in the May election. According to the staff report, it would maintain the tax rate of the bond already in effect. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, in St. Helens, a retired high school teacher already facing sex abuse charges now faces a new indictment. According to the updated court documents, Mark Collins, a former math teacher, is charged with an additional count of misdemeanor sex abuse. He's now accused of abusing 4 minors. At the same time, his previous felony charges were reduced to misdemeanors. Collins is one of 2 teachers first arrested in November who sparked a growing sex abuse investigation within that district. Several bakeries across the Portland Metro have been dealing with break-ins. On Saturday, 3 shops on or near Northeast Sandy were hit, including Dream Cakes, which has surveillance video. The burglar apparently only got away with an old iPad. Video also shows a small blue vehicle parked outside, and the business owners think the same person was involved in each break-in. The next night, about a half hour away in Wilsonville, a thief targeted a 4th bake shop, Lux Sucre, and got away with about $2,500.
We've learned some tough lessons about keeping our cash here, but we did have it in a lockbox, but the lockbox was carryable, and so they took the whole thing.
And Portland's Northwest 23rd also sustained its own string of break-ins at a few businesses this past weekend, though thankfully nothing was taken. And a new Oregon state law that just went into effect classifies drug use on public transit as a Class A misdemeanor. Now, if transit police catch someone using drugs, they can be arrested, face almost a year in jail, and/or a $6,000 fine. So far, no one's been arrested, and Multnomah County's new DA says if they are, they will not qualify for treatment over jail because of the danger of using drugs in a confined space. By the way, Blair Best interviewed DA Nathan Vasquez about his enforcement plans tonight on The Story. You can watch the full newscast. It's streaming now for you on KGW+. New tonight, some concerning health news in Clark County where doctors say the number of flu cases is surging. Catherine Cook spoke with county health officials about the risks and what they're seeing. Catherine?
David, the percentage of positive flu tests in December more than quadrupled from the month before. And some of those flu patients are getting really sick, filling emergency rooms and hospital beds. In Clark County, Health officials say 1 out of 14 people in emergency rooms are there because of the flu. It's the cause of 1 out of 20 hospitalizations. And in December, a whopping 36% of flu tests came back positive. That's up from 8% in November.
These numbers are bothersome. It is not a benign illness. You can get really sick with influenza.
Clark County Health Officer Dr. Alan Melnick says maybe the most troubling statistic of all is this one. Just 24% of Clark County residents, less than 1 out of 4, have gotten a flu shot this season.
I'm going to double down on this. Influenza is a preventable illness, and the most effective thing you can do, among other things, is to get the vaccine.
Melnick says the flu can be deadly. In Oregon, 2 children died from the flu Christmas week, a tragic reminder of the risk beyond state lines. In Multnomah, Clackamas, and Washington counties, state health officials say 474 people have been hospitalized with the flu this season. The Oregon Health Authority notes the main flu strain infecting patients this year is influenza A. Not great.
A tends to be more severe. If we have a B year, we tend to see fewer hospitalizations.
To stop the spread of flu, doctors urge everyone to use good hygiene. They say people can be contagious a day before their symptoms even show up. Also, stay home if you're sick. And above all, get a flu shot. Melnick says it's not too late.
Don't hesitate. Get it. This can go on and it can get worse over the next few months.
Besides protecting yourself, doctors say getting a flu shot can help prevent spreading influenza to the most vulnerable people in our community, including seniors and young children. David.
Yeah, really important advice there. Thank you, Catherine. Tonight, we're also following up on the first human death from bird flu in the U.S., a person over 65 in Louisiana who health officials say was exposed to a backyard flock and wild birds. The CDC believes the risk of human infection remains low, but there are some things experts say to keep in mind to protect you and your pets. So when cooking, make sure poultry is fully cooked and avoid raw milk since pasteurization kills bacteria and viruses. If you've got backyard chickens, health officials recommend washing your hands often, not touching your face after handling the birds, and not hugging or cuddling them. Another good idea to designate shoes for when you work with chickens that you keep outside. And as for your pets,
so keeping dogs on leash if you're walking them in areas where there are lots of waterfowl. Big fields tend to be really popular among ducks and geese, which unfortunately is often what is popular with dogs.
bird flu symptoms include pink eye, fever, fatigue, a cough, and muscle or body aches.